You are listening to Vicky Goes On and On with Vicky Stokes and James Wells.
I can see you now. I can see you now.
Well, that's a shame.
Who needs a ring light?
I was cat sitting recently in Stratford. He has a ring light. Everyone's got a ring light. What are we, TikTokers?
No, it's quite vain, isn't it?
I think so. Or is that judgmental?
No. That's what we're here to be, judgmental.
Yeah, true.
So, did you watch Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell?
And I thought it was very good.
I was going to say, because you said to me, did you watch it with your brother? Because you said you were going to watch it with your brother, or did you watch it?
Yeah, he watched it 3 times. It turned out.
Well, before.
Yeah, but the thing with Phil is he falls asleep. So he puts something on, he'll fall asleep, and then he sort of wakes up, rewinds it to where he was. And I think it's a male thing, right? Where if you're flicking through the channels, James, you can please tell me if you do this. You're flicking through channels, which is unusual, I suppose, because we like to stream things a lot nowadays. But you're flicking through and a movie's on, and it might be halfway through.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, this movie's on, and finish watching it.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. I have to be like,
if it's halfway through, you don't.
It needs to be from the beginning, or not at all.
It's a film that you've already seen, though.
I
couldn't do it with a film that I'd never seen before. But I could do it.
I think it depends on the film, but I'd rather not.
I often do it with films on Horror Channel, though. I'm just like, yeah, that'll do.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I can only take half of it.
It's not channel surfing, but it's I suppose it's the modern equivalent. But if I'm lying in bed trying to find something to watch / fall asleep to, sometimes I'll fall asleep just because it's taking me like 15 minutes to look through the menu. It's just like, that puts me.
I know.
I don't understand when you read these articles about getting the best sleep, and they're like, "Oh, don't play with any electronic devices, don't watch any TV before bed because it, stimulates the brain." Don't for me. It helps me relax, and then I crash out.
Personally, it depends on the type of tired that I am or the type of sleeplessness that I've got.
Oh, okay.
So, some nights you might be dog tired and you lie in bed and you close your eyes and you just cannot get off to sleep.
Yeah. And
sometimes if I start reading a book or, even if it's on my phone or reading a real book or looking at whatever I look at on my phone. That sounds like I was looking at porn. I meant like TikTok or Twitter.
OnlyFans.
Fucking OnlyFans. Pornhub. No. Then I could fall asleep, but sometimes I still cannot, and I have to get up and do something. Or just lie in bed because I feel like, well, it's been proven that just closing your eyes and relaxing is restorative, but sometimes it's annoying. It's annoying to not fall asleep. Yeah. So it sort of depends, and it depends on how comfortable. Some nights, same bed, same pillow, same person, same duvet. It's like your bed is made of gravel or something, and some nights
sometimes you can't.
So fucking ridiculous, frankly.
Yeah. I don't like it when it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it really winds me up. Is like restless legs. That really irritates me. Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. So you watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. Finally.
I did. Yes, I did finally watch it.
And what were your thoughts?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was very, very well done. And what I particularly liked compared to female Ghostbusters, right, I suppose, is that not only because it was a continuation of the story in a more coherent way, but it was also filmed in a very different style, and so it made it a very different movie, I thought, but with the right lore, if you like. And it wasn't just okay. So here's my problem with Ghostbusters, the female version. As a woman, as a feminist, I didn't mind that it was an all-female Ghostbusters, because obviously at the time that was the controversy.
Yeah.
I did mind that it did not I feel like there was a reference to the original, but not in a proper way, not in any sort of way that was,
it wasn't part of the same universe.
No, and it's like, well, what the fuck is this? And also, I didn't like that they had the dumb guy receptionist because he was hot. I thought, not to say like, oh, we can't objectify men, because it's just like so lazy.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, why would you, as a writer, as a movie studio, why would you bother making this? Oh, because they're women. Like, that's the difference. Why are we remaking it? Ghostbusters 1 was an amazing film, and in its own right and in its own style was fantastic. Why just switch it out? Do you know what I mean? It's like, to what end? What's the purpose? And Afterlife gave new hope, because Afterlife had a strong female lead, the little girl.
Yep.
The daughter of I was going to say Venkman, but it's not
Egon Spengler.
Yes,
the mum.
Yeah,
so you got.
She's a great character.
She was really
and you
good.
feel yeah, she was, and you feel for her, and you're like, oh, he had a daughter. Oh my god. Oh, and then okay, and that's all a complicated story that they didn't need to shove down your throat in any way, but it was very sort of nuanced and well approached, I thought.
Yeah.
And then there were lots of other characters. It was all very good. Obviously, Paul Rudd is amazing because it's Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And they even had a little, which made me quite teary, nod to Harold Ramis. It is Harold Ramis, isn't it? He played Speng, and sadly passed away.
I mean, and, obviously, I think we're going to spoil this for people, but as I've said many times, no one listens to this, it doesn't matter. Well,
Kate listens to it. Thanks, Kate. Shout out to Kate.
Thank you.
And Susan sometimes listens.
Susan's gone off, she used to give us commentary for each one, but now she's giving a fuck, and now she lives in Manchester.
It's the water, isn't it?
I know.
The water in Manchester does things to you.
So I saw Afterlife at the cinema, and my God, that ending, I was fucking bawling my eyes out. Absolutely. For so many different reasons. I've loved Ghostbusters since I was a kid. It's something that's very, very attached to me. I can't tell you the first time I saw Ghostbusters, because it's one of them films where I've watched it so many times and it's always been there. And rewatched Ghostbusters 2, loved the cartoon. It's very, it sounds wanky, but it's an important movie to me. And that ending of Afterlife, they did it so well. Like it was tastefully done, and the effects as well.
Yes,
was very good. Like,
in fairness, and maybe it's because I haven't seen it in a few years, but the effects in the original Ghostbusters stand up, I think. Maybe if I rewatched it now, I'd be like, oh, no, actually.
Because a lot of them are physical. So,
yes. Exactly. I mean, that's why Jurassic Park still looks great compared to Avatar, which,
look at most Jim Henson movies of the 80s and the early 90s, they still stand up.
And the 70s.
And the 70s. And they still stand up really
Muppets Take Manhattan is 1978 or something.
But when you've got that tangible effect,
yeah, of
that
course,
you can touch, you know,
because it is real.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in the first one.
Yeah.
It's a guy in a suit. You've got a guy in a suit. They're filming him on like a miniature New York. But when they,
it's all forced perspective and stuff like that.
But when they mix that with actual, you know, people, you know, on set.
Yeah. It's like the original Star Wars. I was watching a thing recently, and lots of, I don't know, background scenes are like painted on velvet. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, the guy that did, you know, every little dot or whatever.
Yeah.
But it looks good. I mean, then they CGI'd the fuck out of it in the... When was it? The 90s or the 2000s?
A remastered edition, didn't they?
And it looked...
Not as good.
Not great.
But like, you know, that bit in Afterlife when Paul Rudd meets the dog in the supermarket, that's a physical puppet, you know, like the original. And it looks good.
Also...
really good.
Paul Rudd,
you know.
Any scene that he's in.
Do you know what? I still want to see it happen. And apparently they're going to do sequels. I hope Paul Rudd's in them. I'd still want to see it happen. But I guess when he was announced that he was in it, you automatically assume that at some point he's going to be wearing the suit and proton pack. And I think it's obviously an obvious choice because I guess Paul Rudd is the equivalent now of a Bill Murray or a Dan Aykroyd.
Although now Bill Murray's all problematic.
He's always been
Paul Rudd, exactly. I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing with cancel culture, right? It's all these youngsters who don't have any sort of understanding of anything that came before their time.
Right.
And so they're like, oh my God, did you know that Bill Murray is really rude? And it's like, everybody's going, that's right.
Yeah.
Also, all of the shit that he's getting called out for, I'm like, cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's all from the 80s. People are like, he was really rude to me on set. He was really awful. He was terrible. He was this. He was unprofessional. Everything after about, I don't know, everything Wes Anderson onwards, he seems all right and just an old man who's no longer taking cocaine, right? I mean, I'm not casting aspersions on Bill Murray's
It's great.
addiction.
I love Bill Murray. But it's like,
me too. But it's
no
like...
one's allowed to be an arsehole anymore.
No.
Like, some people's personality is an arsehole. Like,
true.
Ebenezer Scrooge wouldn't last 5
I'm a bit of an arsehole.
Cancel culture, would he?
Oh, well, I mean, no one really likes him until the end. To be fair.
Well, yeah, because all the ghosts are part of cancel culture, and they're like, no.
They cancel him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I better do my farewell, my comeback tour where I say I'm really sorry for my past behaviour.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah,
can't do nothing anymore.
I agree with you on the female reboot, especially compared to Afterlife.
Absolutely. I just think they shouldn't have bothered.
Well, so I went to see the female version at the cinema. And at the time, I was like, do you know what? There was a lot of abuse going on online. But, I'm looking forward to it. It looks okay. Like, the trailers actually made it look okay. And I'll be honest, when I watched it for the first time, I enjoyed it. I cried when...
but you were very emotional.
I am. But when Kate McKinnon, when they're fighting in the New York streets at the end, there's a bit and she gets her proton guns out and they're two like pistol guns this time. And she does like this, it's all in slow motion and she does this like kind of sliding effect and she's like, like zapping all the ghosts. And you got the music playing like, and the imagery of the, and it doesn't matter. It can be a woman, a man, a child, whatever.
No, it's because it stirs.
Made me cry.
It stirs the little boy in your soul.
Yeah.
Or something.
Then I think a year later, I watched it when it came on Sky Go, and I'm like, and I watched the whole thing, and I was like, this has not dated well within a year.
Wow.
I'm like,
within a year.
Then after Afterlife,
He's getting choked up now.
I had the bug. I had the Ghostbusters bug. So I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna try it again. And I couldn't even watch the first 10 minutes. I got to a bit where she's like moaning about wonton soup. And I'm like, this isn't even funny. And I just had to turn it off. And I think that's as well because of seeing Afterlife. It did kind of reinforce that for me.
Yeah. I just think it's such a shame because of how poor the female one was.
Yeah.
It sort of gives Reddit and incels ammunition because they're not wrong. It is a bad movie.
You're right.
It's so disappointing because it didn't have to be that. It could have been Afterlife, and now that we've got Afterlife, you're like, see, it can be done. You can make an amazing Ghostbusters movie that isn't just a pastiche of the first one, because we complain a lot. I certainly complain a lot that everything nowadays is a reboot or a remake.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is annoying, right? But sometimes it's done well. I didn't finish watching it, but I'm watching the new Candyman.
Oh, okay.
And it's great. Yeah. I mean, it's well done. Yeah. They nod to the original. It's not really a sequel. It's not really a remake. And it's just so beautifully made. But that's because the right person's doing it, I think. That's the other thing. Jordan Peele is great.
Yeah.
Apologies, I don't know who did the Afterlife, but whoever it is, they're great.
So it was Jason Reitman, who is the son of Ivan Reitman, who did the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you see. So there's love there. It's not just, I feel like maybe the problem is, much like with Ghostbusters 2, the original Ghostbusters 2, it's a cash grab, and it's so hollow when that's the case, because we're fans, we like things, we want to it's like some Disney Plus shows, and I don't really want to say Obi-Wan Kenobi, for example, but I haven't heard great things about it.
Okay.
And it just sort of feels like, from my understanding, so please, this is not necessarily my opinion, but from my understanding, it's just like, another thing to milk the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
It's like, do we really need the Obi-Wan story?
Yeah.
Well, I can speak to this. It's like The Walking Dead, right? Yeah. I loved The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And it's gone on far too long.
Yeah.
And then there's spin-offs and spin-offs and spin-offs, and it's like, dude, it's already dead. It's enough. It's such a shame. And that's why there's a part of me that really likes, the British style. You do 6 episodes.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, we hope for more and more and more, sure. But each series, it's 6 episodes.
It's a bit more contained.
And they're beautiful.
Yeah. But
then it doesn't, look at The Office. I don't really like the UK version, but we all can agree that the American version went on way too long. After Steve Carell left, that should have been the end of it. And I enjoyed some of the later episodes. That's true. But it is also true to be like, okay, well, but it could have just stopped. And 1 episode every 4 that's all right is just not good enough.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think all this stuff needs a purpose, and I think where the female reboot fell down was the director, Paul. Is it Feig or Feige?
Feig.
Feig.
He's
I've enjoyed
a comedy guy.
Yeah, I've enjoyed his films in the past. The girls that they got to do it,
great comedians, great actresses, love them. Yeah.
On paper, it sounded like it should work, but I think there needs to be a reason behind it. It can't just be, it's going to be funny. It needs to be more. At least with Afterlife.
It's like Bridesmaids is people have argued is the female The Hangover. And I can certainly see where they're coming from. I actually don't really like Bridesmaids, but I can see that, like, look, the girls can do the comedy just as much as the boys can. And that's true. Yeah. It's not my style of comedy, that's all, right? Yeah. But I can subjectively go, see, it's the female version of The Hangover. It's not just a stupid rom-com like every other fucking female led movie it seems to be. There's some substance to it, and there's some good jokes in it, and there's some, there's a lot of, it's really not my style of comedy. There's like a lot of toilet humor, which I don't really like. Yeah. But overall it works, and it's proof that, hey, the girls can do it too.
Yeah. Just not Ghostbusters.
But that's not what happened with Ghostbusters. And it's such a shame.
I think the Afterlife needed to happen when it did, though. I actually think, like, we're going back to what we were saying about, there's got to be a decent reason. And the good thing about Afterlife is it isn't technically a reboot, is it? It's a sequel, it's a follow-on. But you needed that gap, because that's part of the story, isn't it? The part of the story.
Yes.
Egon's family they've become separated from him for a long period of time. The kids don't know who their grandfather is. You need that length of time, and the audience then can relate to him more, and it makes it of a bigger thing when it comes back. In the same way, that's why I think the first Jurassic World movie works, because it's like,
I don't know what one that is.
That's the one with Chris Pratt.
That's the one with Chris Pratt. Yeah.
But it's like you needed that gap, and it's like, okay, in that space of time where you haven't seen that universe, we've managed to work out all the problems of the park, and now it's a fully fledged theme park, and it's running, and it's exactly what it was supposed to be at the beginning, and it gives it a reason for then, and it helps with the nostalgia, and then it gives it a good enough reason to say, oh, actually it's gonna fuck up again. You need that. And that's why I think it works. And as like you were saying, that the style of Afterlife is different from number one and number two, but then you have to remember that the people that watch number one and number two are different people now. They've grown up and they've changed, and
they're adults.
Yeah,
they have children, and they want to share with their children something of their own childhood. But of course, if it was a straight up rehash of the first one,
and just watch
I mean, I'm not being funny, but I don't think that youngsters nowadays would like it.
No, I agree.
Because the story is not, I don't know, it's not, we want like, look, for example, Stranger Things, very 80s nostalgia. They pick up on all the right cues, I think. It's a particularly good show, but it's bigger than anything that we would have had in the 80s because of technology, like we were saying with CGI. The CGI is better. Let's be frank.
It's interesting actually you say that, because I know I messaged you about this, but I haven't watched the last episode of the latest season of.
Yeah, I didn't know it was the last episode.
So, and again, spoilers, but the when Max is in the Upside Down, and like and like the scenery is all like red, and like it's just like, I said to Haley, I said, that looks like an 80s effect but dialed up to 21st century standards. It still looks like an 80s effect, like that's the kind of lighting that you would see in like fucking an Indiana Jones movie or something when he's in the fucking the Temple of Doom. It's like Kalimar, Kalimar, you know. All the red, that red backlight. They do that in Stranger Things, but it's with 21st century technology.
Yeah,
things were a bit quainter back then, but as we've said, that going back to Ghostbusters, it still holds up. One, because of the writing, and two, I still think some of them effects work really well. Like the physical effects work really well.
Oh, absolutely.
But also, I think it works on many levels because, as I say, I watched that when I was a kid. Ghostbusters. I mean, I think Ghostbusters came out in '83, so I wasn't even born then.
You weren't even born. I'm just doing several things. 1984. I was 2.
Sorry. So I was born in 85. So it's always been with me. But when you go back and when you're older and you watch,
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Can I just? So I googled Ghostbusters. Right. People also ask, is Ghostbusters based on a true story?
Yes.
What? Don't they remember?
Yeah. Do you not remember that?
Oh, dude.
Do they not remember the Manhattan crosswhip from?
I mean, for fuck's sake, is Ghostbusters based on a true story?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to tell you.
But you, like, as you get older, there's a lot when you're a kid that goes over your head with Ghostbusters, and that's what I like about it. Everyone forgets that it's actually an adult horror comedy, but obviously,
you're right.
Nowadays, I think we're a bit desensitized to it. I mean, there's the bit at the beginning, with the librarian, and she gets scared by the library ghost, and the Ghostbusters turn up at the New York library. And they're in before they go down to investigate, and you've got all the stacks of books and all that kind of stuff. They're talking to her, and Bill Murray says, and they're asking her loads of questions like, "Have you ever used drugs?" and stuff like that, because they want to know whether she's like hallucinating or whether she was high.
Yeah.
And then Bill Murray says, "Are you, Alice, menstruating right now?" And as a 6-year-old watching it, that just went over my head. But I never questioned it. I never asked, "Oh, what's menstruating?" or whatever like that. But yeah, it literally just went over my head. I was there for some of the funny stuff that Peter Venkman said, like twiddling the piano and going, "Oh, they love this," and and Mother Puss Bucket when he sees the Stay Puft, and he goes, "Mother Puss Bucket," things like that. But certain things, menstruating and stuff, no clue. So it just went.
Yeah.
Then obviously, as you get older, you then start. I mean, there's the infamous scene where Dan Aykroyd gets a blowjob from a ghost.
I mean,
which was often
wouldn't everyone?
When it was on TV, it was often cut out. But interesting how he doesn't bust that ghost. He's quite happy for that ghost to stay in the fire station.
Well, you wouldn't, would you?
Well, it depends how good the blowjob was. But do you know what I was saying to Hayley? It wouldn't surprise me if, give it 30 years, maybe,
our podcast would be up and running then.
Oh yeah, no, maybe 20 years. So that there is Stranger Things comes back. Like after, I think next season is going to be the last one.
2020s.
Season 5 is going to be the last one, I think.
Yeah.
But like they all come back. The.
Do you know what's annoying? Can I just interject?
Cool.
There's this last episode, episode 6 or something. Yeah. Then there's a gap till July, and then there's 2 episodes.
Yeah, but they're really long episodes, aren't they?
I don't give a fuck.
Are you just desperate to
2 episodes? What was the point? What's the point of this month-long gap? I mean, look, I'm going away next week for 2 weeks. I don't give a shit, really. But you know,
we're going. Annoyingly,
just saying. I'm just saying.
We're going to Spain for a week on the day that the last 2 episodes drop of Stranger Things.
Well, you'll have to watch it in Spain then.
Avoid internet. So do you...
To be fair, I haven't seen any spoilers for Stranger Things.
Yeah, but you don't...
Whereabouts in Spain are you going?
An hour from Murcia.
I don't what? Murcia.
I was going to say, so what are your views on Ghostbusters 2? If we're talking about sequels and stuff. Like,
it's not great, is it? It's not great.
I think it's amazing, if I'm honest. In some ways, I love it more than number 1. But I like Pepsi, so...
Oh, my God. See how you know that these are the inferior choices? You know they are.
Underdog choices.
You see how you said that? Well, I like Pepsi. Yeah, because you know it's shit.
Underdog.
Coke's the best. Ghostbusters 1 is the best. Fucking Underdog. The only thing that's good about 2 is Cheech Marin's in it.
Oh, when the Titanic arrives. Yeah, but he doesn't say anything.
Yes.
All he says is "Better late than never." That's what he says.
Yeah, I know. But look, I don't know when I first saw it, but I would have been a small child. But I do know that I was familiar with Cheech and Chong films because I remember going, "Look, it's Cheech." So that was very exciting for me. Look, it was the 80s or very early 90s, yeah?
It was 89 because it came out
the same year
as Batman, but because Batman did so well, Batman overshadowed, The Dark Knight overshadowed the...
Also because it wasn't great and Batman was great.
Yeah, but there's some great things about number 2.
Yes, it was funnier.
Yeah, it was because of the cartoon, they did make it a bit more kid friendly to kind of coincide with the cartoon. But again, same director, so the style is very similar in a lot of ways.
Yes, absolutely it is.
But the villain's good. I like Vigo, the Carpathian, the painting.
Yeah,
and I liked Janusz as well. The guy that runs the...
But, it's no Sigourney Weaver.
Well, she's in it as well.
Yeah, but, being all, I am Zool.
Which they obviously did in Afterlife. They brought that back.
Yeah, they did. And did you see the after credits scene?
With Sigourney and Bill Murray?
Yeah. I thought that was nice.
Did you see the after credits scene?
I doubt it.
with Winston and Janine.
Oh yes, no, I did see that.
And the containment unit goes off.
Yeah, well, obviously that is leading up to or opening the way for a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is fine. I'm happy about that.
As long as it's again, sequels work as long as they're coherent and have got a meaning. Everyone's raving about Top Gun at the moment, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Top Gun Maverick. There was a review that I saw, and it was Top Gun Maverick answers the question: what if Top Gun had been a good movie?
Oh wow!
Which is fair because Top Gun isn't a great movie. Let's be honest. That fucking song gets on my nerves. Do 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 do. It's just so fucking boring. It's the same old shit going on.
But you don't get songs like that anymore, do you? Do you know what I mean? I mean from movies in the same way. Happy, I suppose, with Pharrell.
That's not
a couple of those sorts of kiddie things. But you don't, like Pretty Woman. Was it Pretty Woman had Roxette? And
love. That one.
But it's over now. Exactly.
You don't get songs like that. Like Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is a good tune. Like,
true.
It's so good that they play it in every movie.
That is true.
But you don't.
That is true.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
but also, like we've discussed before, you don't get that background anymore.
Yeah,
like in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, you don't get like,
which I watched not long ago. That incidental kind of music.
Yeah, like you don't get something catchy
all the way through the film, and and you get it in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know.
But like
kids nowadays, I don't know. They're born. Theme tunes ain't any good anymore.
But again, that's what I think Afterlife got right, is that even when it came to the background music, it was they were using the score from the original one. So you had
you know what would be good? What would be good is
that's all in it.
If they had the dungeon level music from Super Mario's. Because that's often stuck in my head.
Yeah, but that'll be in the Super Mario movie.
In anything.
Yeah.
My mum and I went to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie in the cinema.
Starring Bob Hoskins.
I like it.
I like it. I think.
Well, she liked it because she liked Bob Hoskins.
I think.
And I liked it because of Super Mario.
I think it's an underrated classic. If I'm honest,
it's fucking amazing. It's a. Do you know what? Do you know? Maybe it's because I was quite young when I watched it, and quite young when I watched this other film that I will compare it to. But in my head, Super Mario Brothers and the movie Brazil are kind of conflated in my head.
Really? I'd love to see that movie. Like the
because you know that I don't know the pipes maybe
the supercut of that would be amazing.
I'm gonna need to make a friend that does video editing properly. Well, I've already got a designer.
So if we're talking about reboots and sequels and stuff, is there anything that you're like if you had to have a list of
I just know terrible ones. Rebooting Dirty Dancing. What the fuck? What the actual Jesus Christ, what was going on?
The
Dirty Dancing Havana Nights or whatever it's called.
They're bringing it back again, don't you? Do you know
God, why can't they just leave these things alone?
But so the concept of the new one is baby takes her daughter back to the campsite, like, and to basically say this is what
Kellerman's
mummy lost her virginity in that hut with Johnny.
A man who was a bit too old. It was all a bit.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
People with Jennifer Grey, who doesn't look like Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey, yeah.
I
mean,
I think
it's money making.
End times.
It's money making,
and I think the sooner we drop a nuclear bomb, the better.
But if you're saying, it needs to stop and stuff, then if that was the case, we wouldn't get something like Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, but what is the point of the Dirty Dancing? Look, the current situation we're in is Dirty Dancing Havana Nights, right? What was the point of that? Have you also seen there was a thing on Channel 5. It wasn't made by Channel 5, but I missed the beginning bit. But the end, it was like Baby's character leaving a theatre. Right, and it was like she'd watched this theatre performance of Dirty Dancing or something. Was it the? I don't know. Basically,
was it the? Because America's been doing like remakes of
some crack cocaine or something.
So they did like Rocky Horror Picture Show. They did Dirty Dancing. They've done Grease. Maybe it was that,
I just know it wasn't Havana Nights.
No, because Havana Nights has got the little cameo from Mr. Swayze, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very small cameo from Mr. Swayze.
Legacy alternate versions. The stage version, which isn't it? There was a Dirty Dancing TV series. In 2020, a sequel. That's the prequel. Remake. It was a remake.
Yeah, it must have been that.
Oh, for fuck's sake! That's what it was.
Version.
A 3-hour musical remake of Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, what was the point of it?
They've done it a few times now.
What is the point?
Again, it's got to be a reason.
Talking of sequels, money. The worst sequel I can think of is Wayne's World 2.
And you love Wayne's World.
Because you know how much I love Wayne's World, exactly. And maybe that's why it's just so... I don't know, man. I think even the video quality is poor. So I mean, I've got it on DVD.
What would you do now if Mike Myers said he's doing a Wayne's World?
I would, let's not be dramatic, but I'd commit suicide.
Would you watch it?
No, would I watch it? Probably eventually, but what's the point? What is the point? This is my thing, right? Like, what was the point of Ghostbusters, the female one? There was no point. Afterlife, there's a point. Fine. But it's not a remake, right? Some films, right, I feel like we could film them better now because we've got better technology. Films from like the 50s and 60s. And I think, why don't we go and remake those ones rather than ones that there's no point in doing it? Like, look, if they decide to reboot Gremlins, depending on what they do with it, I might be on board with it because you'd probably get better looking Gremlins, better. Do you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes in Gremlins, it's like really obvious that it's a toy that's just got like a remote control.
Do you think so?
I do, yeah, because I saw it not long ago, and I think Gizmo. There's some scenes with Gizmo that you can see it's like one of those dogs that walk, and then yap, and then jumps upside down. It's like the same sort of toy.
Yeah, like fluid. Like
yeah, you know what I mean?
But then the alternative would be CGI, and then that wouldn't look right.
No. It doesn't have to be CGI. We've got better robotics now, right? And we've got better puppets, better materials that we use. It's like Labyrinth, right? I fucking love Labyrinth.
I know you do.
But we could maybe make better Hoggle and a better, not Ludo because it's all hair. But like we could maybe, that's what they're going to do. They're going to remake Labyrinth and I'm going to kill myself. Yeah, they're going to remake every fucking thing.
Who's going to play Barry?
I don't know. Fucking
Harry Styles.
Oh God. Yeah, do you know what? You're probably right.
Harry Styles is the fucking...
I'm going to go crazy. Isn't he?
Barry reboot, by all accounts.
Like what? You put on a skirt and now you're all controversial.
Yeah, I know.
Did the 70s and 80s never happen? Is that what's happened here?
Yeah.
Have they never seen Boy George?
Yeah.
Have they never seen David fucking Bowie?
Yeah.
A straight white dude wearing nail varnish is not dramatic. He's just a dude wearing nail varnish.
No,
oh my God, he's such a like crazy guy. No, he's not. He just... Oh my God!
Do you reckon Harry Styles
fucking children
is
doing my nutting?
Is the human version of a reboot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, I've got nothing against Harry Styles. I really like the song Watermelon Sugar, for example, because I'm young and hip.
Yeah, but the new song you brought out, that, again, you're talking remakes and stuff, that sounds like Take On Me.
I don't know what song you're talking about.
I can't remember.
I like Watermelon Sugar.
It's the one that sounds like Take On Me.
But yeah, but do you remember the A1 version of Take On Me that removed the best part of that song? You know where it drops?
What do you mean where it drops?
It does that take. It does a beat drop, and A1 completely removed it, and I was like, what was the point then?
Re-listen to the A1 version now, just to...
The thing that makes me laugh, right, is maybe it's because I've got older siblings, but I've always been mostly aware when a song was a cover version. Sometimes I'm surprised, like the Jimi Hendrix All Along the Watchtower song. I didn't realise when I first heard it was a Bob Dylan. Yeah. Boring Bob Dylan song, but anyway. But on the whole, I hear a song that's a cover version, and sometimes cover versions are better, right? Like All Along the Watchtower, unarguably the better song. But I remember, for example, Boyzone brought out a cover of a Tracy Chapman song, and I knew that it was a Tracy Chapman song.
Baby, Can I Hold You Tonight?
Baby, can I hold you tonight?
Yep.
But nowadays, Can I just
interject quickly? Totally irrelevant to what we're talking about. But
all right,
until recently, Hayley thought that Tracy Chapman was a white man.
A white man?
Yes.
Yeah. I can do one better.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on.
My brother had the CD.
Right.
Of I think it's called Crossroads. So she's on it.
That's what I mean. Her face is on the
right. Yeah, right. I thought she was a man.
Yeah.
I saw the picture.
Well, so Hayley, white man.
Well, but Hayley, I can sort of forgive because she's thinking Michael McDonald, who sounds like a black dude. Let's be fair.
No, he does not. He just doesn't.
He does. Yamo be there. It's Yamo be there. That's why. Yamo be there.
Yamo be there. So yeah, Boyzone.
That's what that is.
Boyzone.
Yeah.
Versus Tracy Chapman.
Well, it just seems to me that youngsters, these youngsters, this is what's happened. Right. Listen, you've not got long. 40, you immediately start thinking children nowadays.
I think that now.
I know, but it's worse. I'm telling you, there's some sort of I don't know. In a way, a superpower.
Because I feel like at the ages we are now, you freeze time because everyone is children who are younger than you, but then like I still talk about the adults are coming over today or something like that. You know, when you talk about your parents, it's like, what am I then? I'm just like in the fucking.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, you're a parent and a married man, so I don't know why you haven't thought of this before, but suddenly I do think I'm a fucking adult. Actually, I'm an adult.
I'm an adult when it suits me.
I'm actually an adult.
When it's convenient.
So before this, I sort of feel like I'm 40 years old. I'm 40.
Yeah.
What an age. What a time to be alive. I mean, I also think I'm 40 and I've got fucking nothing to show for it, but
we've got 20
I've got a dodgy knee. That's something to show for it. I've got 20 episodes of a podcast. I was talking to someone, I can't remember who, but someone that hasn't known me for very long. And I said, oh, well, when I did stand-up, and they were like, you used to do stand-up? And I was like,
yeah, I get that reaction. I get that reaction as well.
Sure. And they're like, they said, yeah, I can see that actually. And I was like, can you?
The problem with me is that when I tell people that I did stand-up, when it just drops into a conversation. If it's like older people, especially, actually, if it's anyone that can get offended, like,
tell us a joke.
What did you used to talk about? And I'm like, Jimmy Savile raping my girlfriend. And they're like, not Jimmy Savile raping my girlfriend, sorry.
Yeah.
Jimmy Savile raping my girlfriend. What else did I used to talk about? I can't remember. It pissed her off.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, but I was not edgy.
I wasn't edgy. I was just saying what I thought was funny. So everyone else laughed. So
yeah, I didn't.
Thanks.
Not when you talk about.
You were like, you were listening to me thinking, well,
no, some things were funny.
I won't keep in contact.
But those two things in particular, no. See, the thing about you that I always thought was quite amusing is you're very sweet, and then your jokes are a bit. When you were doing stand up, there were some jokes, and I remember saying to you, "Well, I wouldn't do that." Yeah. But my jokes were all taking the mick out of my mum and talking about my dad buying too many Frey Bentos pies.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, I'm a nice girl, so I didn't I didn't last very long. Here's another reboot that was totally unnecessary.
Cool.
West Side Story.
Have you watched it?
The fuck, man? No. How
have you seen the original?
Dare you suggest? Yeah. Natalie Wool. That's how my mum said it. Natalie Wool being Maria.
I want to be in a man.
Why bother? What was the point?
Spielberg, innit?
Because Lin-Manuel Miranda wanted to write some more songs.
Oh, did he write more songs? Well, I didn't know that.
He's involved somehow. I don't know. And I don't mind him. But he's involved in Mary Poppins Returns, which is fine. I mean, it's all right. At least Dick Van Dyke was in it.
I mean, that was a sequel, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. I'll tell you a good remake.
Go on.
It.
Oh, yes. Because I think it's truer to the book. It's truer to the book. Not completely, but...
And it's a shame that Tim Curry isn't it, but...
What?
Because he was a good it.
What, in the new one?
Yeah, it's a shame he wasn't it. No, because he's good in the... He's the only good thing in the bloody
Bill
TV show thing.
Skarsgård is...
Yeah, but in a way, I preferred that Pennywise.
Hiya, Georgie.
I sort of preferred him. Yeah.
So while
in
we're
a
on
way,
the subject of that and remakes, I will send you a link because I think they're all on YouTube. But there is, I think it's a Hindu version of it. And it is so fucking random,
mate. You got to put that in the show notes.
It's not.
Come on.
It's not like Georgie meeting Pennywise in a drain. It's like he's set in India, so he's in his parents' like sunny pool, and like, in their back garden, and the clown comes up out of the thing. Oh yeah, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. It's fascinating.
Put it in the show notes.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think the new version of it was very good.
Yes,
absolutely. Not all sequels or reboots are bad. Top Gun Maverick is obviously great. So
Paddington 2.
A lot of people say it's better than Paddington 1. Didn't it get like an award? Wasn't it like the greatest film? Voted the greatest film of all time for a little while. Wasn't it Paddington 2?
Well, I mean, I think that's going a bit far. The greatest film of all time. Clearly, that's Wayne's World or Breakfast Club or Dirty Dancing or what else do I base my personality on?
Dirty Dancing, Havana Nights. There is some. Do you know what though? What makes me because obviously us being us read the internet a lot. So we,
alas,
the general consensus for me the general consensus, I believe, is that things like, for instance, Ghostbusters is better than Ghostbusters 2. Dirty Dancing is better than Dirty Dancing Havana Nights. Obviously, if we're going more modern, Top Gun
Grease is better than Grease 2.
Is better than Top Gun. I actually prefer Grease 2, but that's just me.
I think that
again, I like an underdog.
Is the character called Michael? I think he's really handsome.
But then maybe now you've said that,
the guy with the.
I'll probably just answer.
Maybe you just fancy him.
No, I think I've just answered my own question, because what I was going to say to you is that's what we see as as the general consensus. But obviously, there are people out there that are sitting home going, "Do you know what? Fucking Dirty Dancing Havana Nights is far better than Dirty Dancing." There are people out there like that, but I think I've answered my own question, because I've just said to you, I prefer Grease 2 to Grease. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer is beautiful anyway. The song Cool Rider is fantastic. They sing a song about reproduction.
They do.
You know, I want more of that rather than You're the One That I Want. And
I do think that.
And yeah, the guy in general Michael is very good looking. So.
I remember watching that when I was a child and being like,
isn't he?
Well, isn't he a handsome man?
And then when you're like, I'm going to go back and watch Grease 1 to see more of. Oh, he's not in it.
No, I saw Grease first. No, but I do think your views on Cool Rider aside, you must admit that in general, the songs in Grease 1 are better.
They are, but I think my issue with it is it's overplayed. My heart sinks when I'm in a club.
Now it is, right?
When I'm in a club or I'm at the discotheque. And, and Grease comes on, but it's the fucking Grease mega mix. I'm like, I don't want the fucking Grease mega mix. You
really do live in Kent.
I just want either just play the whole of Summer Nights,
James,
or play the whole of You're the One That I Want.
I have never been in a nightclub or a discotheque and they've played the Grease mega mix, except I can imagine that happening in Kent. Oh. Because I've been to pubs in Kent that turned into nightclubs.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Yeah. Kent, Essex, Isle of Wight. I've been out in all three and they are different to what I'm used to.
Give it like 35 years, people of my generation will be having the Grease Mega Mix played at their wakes in Kent.
Fucking hell, man.
Not their wakes, their actual funerals. It'll be at their actual funerals.
As the coffin is lowered.
Grease lightning, you're burning up the quarter.
But yeah, I mean, look, you're right. It is overplayed, not to the extent that you're suggesting. But think back to the very first time you watched either of them. The songs are better in Grease 1. The story is better in Grease 2. He's more handsome than John Travolta.
Michelle Pfeiffer is more attractive than any of the women in.
Absolutely. And also, none of them clearly are 40 years old. I mean, I love Rizzo. I love Rizzo. But she does look like a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah. I guess at least in number 2, they look a little bit younger.
a little bit. Yeah. And earlier on, we were, you were asking me what. Well, you were asking me for examples of what would be good to remake. I tell you what would be good. Now that we have better puppeteering, E.T. I wouldn't mind if they remade that.
Okay, so then that.
But they'd have to make it really fucking good, and I would prefer it if it wasn't a remake. I would prefer it if it was in the vein of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
So I was just about to ask you, in that respect, do you prefer a sequel or a follow-on to a reboot? So, yeah, if the technology's better, for E.T., do they just go ahead and they remake the whole thing? You've got a new Elliot, a new Drew Barrymore, all that kind of stuff. Or here's Elliot and he's in his 50s now, and ET's coming back. ET's got fucking loads of kids, and
I think if it was a shot-for-shot remake, I would rather they at least change it enough that it's not in the 80s and it's not Reese's Pieces or something, right? But so it's just like nowadays, and you go, okay, well, fine, they're trying to sell it to a younger audience, but I think I would prefer it if it was Elliot was in his 50s and the original ET comes back or something, something like that. I would prefer, I think.
But obviously,
if they did do a shot-for-shot remake,
technology,
I'd be like, oh well.
Because they did
see what they're doing.
That's
I suppose that's the thing, right? Like Meet Joe Black. That was a remake of, that was a remake of the 1950s film Death Goes on Holiday or something. It's called. Yeah. That's sort of fine because it was such a long time before. Although I suppose that was the 90s, right? So 50 years before that. So anything from 50 years ago, it's only the 70s. I think this is the problem, is we're just showing our age. This is all it is.
Well, talking about reboots and sequels.
How dare they change things?
Yeah.
How dare they? Where if they'd brought out Rear Window, we'd be like, fine, of course. Although, there was that shot-for-shot remake of Psycho with
wasn't
Vince
it?
Vaughn. Yeah. I quite liked it because I think Vince Vaughn's cool.
Yeah, he is cool.
But everyone was like, why bother? And it's like, I kind of get it.
I think as a piece of art,
why not bother?
I actually think it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
To do that. I
think because Psycho was in black and white and the Vince Vaughn one wasn't.
Also, you're doing a shot-for-shot remake of a fucking Hitchcock movie. Like, that's you've got pretty big bollocks to want to do that. It's like me turning around going, do you know what? I'm going to do a shot-for-shot remake of, Spielberg, of Close Encounters of the Third Kind or something. You know what I mean? Like a Spielberg classic.
Well, no, not really.
Because
it's Gus Van Sant, who is a director. Yeah, but you're not a director.
I'm not comparing myself to Gus Van Sant.
No offence.
All right.
No offence, like.
It's still, the ball's on the man to just be like, yeah.
He's fucking insane though, isn't he?
That's true. Yeah. Do you remember I
don't know that I've watched any of his. Anyway,
I was going to say I messaged you, the other week and showed you the photo of the Quantum Leap remake that's coming.
Yes, you did.
And to be honest, I had.
And isn't there a prequel to the Gremlins?
I had no idea this was happening. This Quantum Leap thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. I'd forgotten that. I thought maybe it was a trauma dream.
I think I googled Quantum Leap because I wanted to see how much the box set was going for. And this did he make it home? This remake thing came up, and I'm like, what? If
it's an obvious cash grab, don't do it.
What if it's
that's what I think.
A success.
Yeah, but this is what I was getting at earlier, right? It's a success when it comes from the heart, when it's with love.
Yeah.
Right? Like Afterlife was written by the son of the original writer.
Fathers, and it's about
family. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So there's meaning there.
There's a legacy there.
Behind it,
yeah. It's not just, hey, you know what I could do? I could cash in on 80s nostalgia. And look, I like Paul Feig, and I like what's her face? His wife.
Wiig.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy.
It's his wife. No.
His
well,
wife?
I like. Yeah.
He's not married to her.
Not Melissa McCarthy.
No, he's not married to Kristen Wiig though.
I'm sure he is,
No, because I've seen his wife on Instagram. She's like an old blonde lady.
An old blonde lady. Well, anyway, I believe you. But I trust and it says It says here the failure of the reboot resulted in the production of Ghostbusters Afterlife, which completely ignored the reboot.
So we have to be thankful for the reboot.
True.
So we get Afterlife.
But don't you think that it feels hollow?
Yeah. The problem with a reboot,
especially
like
compared to,
is you're always going to be comparing it to the original. If you've got an origin story where 4 people get together that are women, even if they wasn't women, if they stuck to them being men, 4 people get together and create and invent a company that busts ghosts, it's going to be compared to the original. Whereas with Afterlife, it's a follow-on. There's hardly any fucking Ghostbusting in that movie.
That's true. That is true.
And it doesn't even start with ghosts. It starts with it kind of starts with ghosts with the scene on the farm, but it very quickly moves to, a single parent moving her kids to the arse end of nowhere because she hasn't got any money, and it's focused on that, for a long time. It feels like there's a lot more thought gone into it, and it works.
Absolutely,
it works. Yeah,
and Paul Rudd's in it.
So
what more do we want?
Maybe we want Paul Rudd in every reboot, remake, and sequel.
True, that is true.
Just to turn up, even because if he turns up for 5 minutes.
Because I do think that if he turns up in the Gremlins reboot or prequel or whatever, I'd be like, a good film. Dude, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
That's true.
Is a good luck charm for any movie. If Paul Rudd had been in Dirty Dancing Havana Nights,
because
it would have been amazing.
Because we have seen some poor Paul Rudd movies, but they've been all right because Paul Rudd's in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like that one, is it called Admission?
Yes. Yeah,
with Tina Fey.
Is it Admission?
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great, but he does lift every scene that he's in.
He even lifts the Halloween movie that he was in.
I haven't seen that.
Have you not? He's in one of the Halloween. So
no.
Tommy. Tommy.
I'm aware that he's in.
Yeah.
I'm aware that he's in a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Because he's talked about it.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't. Because I've only seen, I think, Halloween 3 and Halloween H2O.
Have you seen the Rob Zombie Halloween?
No.
I mean, there are, again, remakes.
I'm not really into it. Yeah.
So Halloween 1 is obviously a remake of.
I think I have seen it, but the problem with that is I've seen too many clips of it.
Yeah.
Am I conflating it? Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but the meaning behind it is it focuses more on Michael and the reasons he became how he is as a child. So it does change it. And then number 2 goes off in its own thing, which isn't the same as number 2, the original Halloween 2.
Okay.
But I think they're quite good. Purists would disagree with me, but I think they're quite good remakes. I mean, that's the thing. I guess it's opinion, isn't it? And it's all, as I say, I like Grease too.
Well, everything's subjective. Everything's subjective. Of course it is. And this is only our opinion, but I think it's hard to argue with the fact that in this particular example, Afterlife is much more successful than the reboot because it was written by the right person in my view. That's what I think is the difference, right?
Yeah.
Or it certainly seems like that's what the difference is.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why didn't the reboot work? Well, because it just so fucking obvious. Like look, kids are stupid, but they also know when someone's trying to pull the wool over their eyes, right? And I think that's true for everybody, really, in a lot of ways. And so when they start bringing out Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Coke something else, Coke. You're like, okay, it's enough. It's enough. You've got my money. There's no need. Yeah, right. Which I tasted.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what intergalactic tastes like. Mikey said, "It's weird, isn't it?" So that's the food critic, Mikey, and it's like, but newer doesn't equal better. And I think that you and I, are of an age where we're like, yeah, it doesn't mean it's better though.
No.
You know, like we're okay with classic Coke. We're okay with, well, you're not, you like Pepsi, but you're okay with classic Pepsi. I'm okay with the normal version of shit. I don't need it to be with better CGI. I don't need it to be with, I don't know, stupid bullshit. Just give me good content.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It, you know, if it's a good story and it's good content and it tastes good or it looks good. Well, not if it looks good, because sometimes it looks good and it's shit. But yeah, if it tastes good and it
does it do it proper? That's all I want. I just want.
I think. I think you said it earlier on, but if it's made with love, quite often you can't go wrong.
No.
And we're not just talking about movies, but anything. If it's made with love,
with everything.
Then I think
with songs,
even if it's not the great, even if it's not the greatest thing in the world, if you know that it's made with love and with thought, then you can at the very least appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, look, Jimmy's version of All Along the Watchtower, man, that's got passion. That's got some va-va-voom. That's got some...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This has been Vicky Goes On and On. Yeah. Ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Yeah.
Is that the new theme? Are we remaking the theme?
No.
So this has been Vicky Goes On and On. Bing, ba-ding, ba-ding. Okay,
no. Yeah.
Production values have gone down straight away. We've obviously done this episode, about remakes and stuff. Maybe we should do this episode again, but like 20 episodes down
but
the
like
line,
better
remake the remake and see if it's better.
Well, I don't see why not. Maybe we should just start releasing them. Sometimes.
Look, you've already said this about rehashing shit already.
Well, look, James, the problem with the podcast is it's become obvious that I only have 5 unique thoughts.
Okay, well, we'll stop doing the podcast then.
No, I enjoy doing it. I'm just saying, it's just.
That's cool, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That is the Vicky's remake of Jurassic Park.
This is a dinosaur post-it holder, by the way. I mean, they're not post-its. These are just bits of paper. Oh, I like that. I might steal it. Thanks, E.
I need to ask you before you go.
Yes.
Have you watched No Time to Die?
No, I haven't. Because I haven't. No, because what happened was, you're going to laugh. I watched Spectre on the Friday so that Philip and I could watch it on the Sunday. And we had also got my dad to buy some squid so that I would make calamari.
Was that as a link to Spectre because of the squid on the ring?
No, actually.
James Bond theme.
Or maybe it was.
Listen, we're going
subconsciously.
to eat squid tonight.
Maybe
with a
it was
martini,
subconsciously
shaken.
It just, we were like, oh, I fancy some squid. Oh, I fancy some squid too. Yeah. So I said to Philip, tell Dad buy some squid. And then on Sunday morning,
and your dad sat there stroking his cat. He's like, Vicky, we meet again.
Mr. Vicky. I've been expecting you. No, so I said to Phil,
Squid.
Hey. Tell Dad, buy some squid. I'll make calamari. We'll watch the new James Bond. He said, yeah.
Calamari, that sounds like a Bond villain.
Yeah. What's his name? Scaramanga. Yeah, you're right.
Dr. Calamari.
Well, that's what we call it, innit? That's what we call it.
And you didn't end up watching it?
No, listen. No, it gets worse. Sunday morning, my sister messages me. Oh, what time are you going around the house? I said, motherfucker. I text Phil. Michelle's coming. And he went, oh, what? Because now we've got to share the fucking squid. We were going to have 1.5 squids each. Now we've only got 1 squid each. Rubbish, man. I fucking love squid. I fucking love it.
I'll come over to your dad's squid, I will.
Come wherever you want. I'll buy some squid and I'll make it. I'm good at squid.
Yeah.
So, and then, anyway, so because she was there, we couldn't watch.
So you couldn't...
and we sort of looked at each other.
You didn't have loads of squid and you couldn't... No time to
exactly. It was such a fucking ball ache, the whole thing. Then the next Sunday... I wasn't there. It's like last Sunday I was in Manchester. I've been a busy bee.
I know. You need a break.
I need a vacation.
Yeah.
So maybe this Sunday I'll watch No Time to Die. The other thing is, though, can I just say?
You're going.
I know this is a very long-winded thing, but I've drunk a bottle of wine now. Sometimes I say to Phil, oh, we'll watch whatever on Sunday, right? Because I tend to go round from 2-ish, I go round. And I'll say to him, oh, we'll watch blah-de-blah, like we'll watch Afterlife on Sunday, right? Yeah. For example. Because he logs into my Now TV on the Amazon Fire Stick, I can see it's only him and Kate that have access to it. Yeah. I know what I'm watching, obviously. Yeah. So I can see that it's halfway. It's a quarter way. It's a, 3. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, you little bastard. I wanted to watch that with you and yours already, come on, punk.
Well, look, if you get to watch it, just message me. If you watch it, message me, just say, great movie.
Or not.
If you don't, or not. If you don't get to watch it...
Do we know who the new Bond is,
if you don't get to watch it, just text me and say, no time to Bond.
Well, the thing is, I might watch it like tonight. I'm going to finish watching Candyman.
Okay. Yeah, actually. Fuck him.
Because, there's a TV downstairs, but I don't know where the remote is. I can't be bothered.
I've got no idea who the next Bond is yet, so no one does.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought maybe it had been announced. We know who the Doctor Who is.
Yeah. Shooty Gatwa. The new Bond could be anyone.
Could be you. Is that what you're saying? Is it you?
I can neither confirm or deny.
It's James Wells. You heard it here first.
The name's Wells. James Bond Wells.
All right, good. Wow.
This has been a Head Full of Straw production of Vicky Goes On and On with Vicky Stokes and James Wells.